Coming up right now on Anthem Live. As soon as tragedy struck the Philippines, Sun City residents joined together to aid in the typhoon relief efforts. Members of the Filipiniana Club and many others are leading the donation efforts here at SCA. We'll show you the many ways you can help.
Yeah, reporter George Meese continues his series, Knowing Your Elected Officials, with Congressman Joe Heck. They will be discussing some important issues and legislation.
Join Stanley Blind and his camera crew as they surprise our folks on your campus enjoying the good life at Sun City Anthem.
Ever wonder what's cooking behind the scenes at the M? We'll present a very special Chef Stu's kitchen right from the M Hotel Casino Studios kitchen.
This month's guest on Freedom is Not Free is Franklin Hargrave. We'll have highlights of his conversation with host Steve McCarthy. All that and more coming up right now on this week's edition of Anthem Alive! Hello everyone, I am Kelly Clinton-Holmes. Welcome to our 363rd edition of Anthem Alive. That's unbelievable. It's a video magazine by and for the residents of Sun City Anthem. Let me start off today by introducing my delightful co-host, Lenny Windsor. Lenny is a comedian and a writer, best known for his dry sense of humor. Very dry, and sometimes, believe it or not, even drier than that. Those of you who might be fans of British comedy will appreciate the wonderful sketches, jokes, and routine that Lenny wrote for the Benny Hill Show. I love that show. Do you remember how the theme went for the music?
Yes, it's called Yakety Sax. It was written by Booth Randolph, and it goes... Keep
doing that a little bit. He is now a global star, appearing with such great acts as Gloria Gaynor, Roy Orbison, you can stop now, Carol Lawrence, Keely Smith, love Keely Smith, Anthony Newley, The Temptations, Jack Jones, I am a singer. Shut up, Kelly. And also with the Flamingo headliner George Wallace. Very impressive. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm starstruck. Appearing next month right down the road at the M Resort, Lenny is going to be there. Maybe Stu will cook for him. It's a pleasure to be co-hosting with you, my friend, my new friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much. Listen, thank you very, very much indeed. It's fabulous.
Please talk about me now.
Yes, it's she's here. Anyway, that's it.
No. Tell him stuff.
Thank you. It's a fabulous introduction, by the way, Kelly. I think I wrote it rather well, don't you?
Hey, listen, the best $50 you ever spent.
I know. I do want change. So, listen, if you don't already know Kelly, she hails from New Jersey, actually. She's a native. She's been performing here in Las Vegas since she was a teenager, just a few weeks ago. She's fronted her own band. She's sung back up with Wayne Newton. Is he dead?
No, very much alive.
And Engelbert Humperdinck. I knew him, of course, as David. And even has her own one-woman show. In fact, she's enjoying a rave review of her recent one-woman show at the Cafe Carlyle in New York City currently. Kelly hosts the open mic night at the Bootleggers Bistro every Monday. I'm going to do that next time I'm here. I'm going to come down with you. I'm going to do a set for you. Also, you're going too fast. For God's sake, thank you. I am very slow. And yes, where was I? Yes, on the Las Vegas Video Network. And that's not enough. She's creator and producer of Shades of Sinatra, playing at the Carlyle. And
the Clarion.
Sorry, the Clarion. I'm so sorry, it's so far away.
I like the way you say it.
Well, that's okay.
Go on.
And here's great news for you. SCA residents, you can catch Kelly in her own special holiday show right here at Freedom Hall on December the 20th. Wow, I wish I was here.
You're not going to be here?
No.
All right, I'll do the show for you after this show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lenny, for that wonderful intro. I didn't write that one, by the way. Okay, I did. Our show is packed with 40 minutes of information, entertainment, and the ways we can enrich our lives and help others. We start off with relief efforts to benefit the victims of the typhoon in the Philippines. As tragedy struck the Philippines, Sun City residents joined together to aid in the typhoon relief efforts. SCA TV reporter Cindy Joseph begins our team coverage of the flurry of activity that continues even now.
For the benefit of Typhoon Haiyan, the ICC presents the Clark High School Chamber Music Orchestra. ICC changed the beneficiary of the benefit from the Wounded Warrior Project to typhoon relief.
The program was a tribute from ICC originally to support the Wounded Warrior Project, but with the happenings in the Philippines, it's now been changed to support for the Philippine effort.
Well, the program today is in cooperation with the Filipiniana and all the Filipino community here in Sun City Anthem. We are doing our part to raise some money for the victim of the hurricane in the Philippines. With a humanitarian effort from the International Culture Connection Club, we are very eager to help people, aside from our valley, also international.
We already sent like 30,000 blankets there and about 60,000 instant rice meals to all the survivors there. And also our medical team is already there to provide all the help. This is just one of a number of efforts underway in Sun City Anthem to help the more than 4 million people displaced and homeless in the wake of the storm.
All these young musicians, they're fantastic.
We were very blessed to have this fundraising for the Philippines.
Efforts are expected to continue throughout the coming year.
Clark High School Chamber Orchestra and their conductor, Mr. Chuck Cushionary.
Cindy Joseph, Sun City Anthem TV, Anthem Alive.
110 of the Filipiniana's bowling members made some music of their own. This time with the pins at the South Point Bowling Centre, yet another part of the typhoon relief drive. Fully half of the huge bowling facility was given over to fundraising efforts. 32 lanes and all for free, courtesy of South Point. Filipinianas normally pay $7 for 3 games when they play here. This time the crisis overseas inspired them to pitch to $20 each. A small price to pay to save lives. South Point has promised yet another bowling date for typhoon relief in January. On the day, the entire bowling facility will join in the relief.
Back on campus, fundraising continued at tables set up at the parking lot sale, then at Liberty, Independence, and Anthem centers. SCA residents were generous with their everything, from spare change to big checks. One member of the community, who prefers to remain anonymous, doubled down on an offer to match $5,000 in contributed funds with $5,000 of his own. With his help, the fundraising effort has now topped $20,000.
Yes, as pictures and reports flooded in from devastated regions, creativity bloomed at Sun City Anthem. Part of the Filipinia effort included a Mahjong marathon in Independence Center, contributed $20. Play 9 hours on as long as you can hold out. A good time was had by all, and for a very good cause. SCA TV's Sofia Vaz-Dezega spoke to Filipino fundraiser Shishi Rozan.
Yes, we have 3 charities that we chose, and we vetted all of them because the one concern we have is that we want the money to go to the Filipino people. We don't want it to go all kinds of organization or structural expenses. So we vetted to have Doctors Without Borders, the Catholic Charities, Relief Services, and Feed the Hungry. And now we've come forward and we learned about the hospital in Tacloban. It's called Divine Mercy Hospital that was completely flattened. And that's another cost that we're thinking of sending money to.
When it comes to the Philippines, relationship lines run deep here at Sun City Anthem for at least one family. Word from Tacloban, the devastated county seat of Leyte, has been sparse and many communication lines remain down. But for Mert and Lena Gozo, there was good news for the holidays. Esther Finder reports.
Tacloban, the Philippines, home to about 230,000 permanent residents, with well over 1 million more in the surrounding county territory. Aerials like these from Philippine television were among the first that people here saw following Typhoon Haiyan. The destruction was everywhere. Even for people who grew up there, some places are hardly recognizable. People like Merit and Lena Gozo.
If this is Leyte, one province, okay, Tacloban is on the northern part of Leyte, and where his family lives is on the southern part of Leyte, a small town called Bato.
I spoke with Merit and Lena at their home atop a peaceful Sun City Anthem Hill about the deadly natural disaster too far away for them to touch, but close enough to feel. It was a full week before they heard any word from the families of his sisters and brother. The roofs of their homes had been blown away, and the storm surge had washed in tons of mud.
I was so afraid because, my sisters and my niece and nephews in there, they live close to the ocean.
And how did they reestablish contact with you again?
Through the cell phone.
So they were texting?
Yeah, they're texting. Yeah.
And do you remember that first message that you got after not hearing from them in a week? What did they tell you?
They said, we're okay.
And everybody in the family is okay?
Yeah. Everybody, we're okay. But we know the reality of it because, we've been there. And we're familiar with the surroundings. So it's really very devastating. Because everything was washed out. Drinkable water was not available, of course, food. And because of that too, there's dead bodies floating on the water. So people get infections. And because there's no water, they get diarrhea. So the 4 basic needs immediately after that was drinkable water, food, antibiotics, and anti-diarrhea medication. When the carrier, USS carrier, arrived, that was a big relief.
Now, Leyte is only one place, one road.
One main road.
One main road going to Tacloban. There's no other road. And this road, next to it, is the ocean. This is ocean. And this is hills, mountain. So when this one has a typhoon, even though this is 3 hours drive, because of the ocean going here, it affects tremendously also here. So all this, all affected by the typhoon. So I can imagine how my sisters and brother live there.
What has been your impression of the response from our community here and also the international response?
Okay, let me tell you. Yeah, I've been involved in collecting donations at the center, for a week. It was sponsored by Filipiniana Club. We are so thankful, very grateful to the generosity, compassion, and kindness of the residents in Sun City Anthem. Not just Filipinos, but all the residents from all nationalities. We're very thankful. Thank you so much. We are really so grateful to all this international effort that have been done to help the typhoon victims. Through this program, I wanted to express our gratitude to all the residents, even if they have not given the check to the table that we have set up. Those that have donated through their church, through their organizations, through their groups, we are so thankful, very thankful.
Reeling in the wake of the worst natural disaster in its history, possibly the largest such storm on record, the Philippines remains a nation in need. Sun City Anthem is proving it is a community ready to help. Esther Finder, SCA TV, Anthem Alive.
Fundraising efforts will continue as long as there is a need, and plans are already in the works for several fun events on and off the SCA campus in the month of January. We will keep you up to date right here on Anthem Alive.
Reporter George Meese continues his series, Know Your Elected Officials. With a visit from Representative Joe Heck, they discuss current and up-and-coming legislation.
Good morning, Congressman. Thank you for meeting with us today. How did you get involved in politics to begin with?
Well, it started with a short tour that I did in Washington, D.C. I was working there for the Department of Defense as a civilian. And it was a great job. It was a high-powered job. And I think no one could go and work inside the Washington Beltway for 3 years and not leave with kind of the political bug in their system. And then in 2004, I ran for State Senate District 5. Which was my first foray into running for elected office. And then in 2009, I was approached by some folks that thought, Joe, what would you think about running for Congressional District 3 for Congress? The issues that we face, healthcare, economy, defense, you're a physician, small business owner, service member. And so that was the motivation and kind of the steps that we took, and wound up getting elected in 2010 and then reelected in 2012.
Affordable health care, better known as Obamacare. What are your impressions of that at this point?
There are things within the health care law that are important changes. The consumer protections that are put in place through the Affordable Care Act were important. Things like no pre-existing condition exclusions, rights of rescission, so as long as you were paying your premium, you couldn't be non-renewed, because now you reached a certain age where the insurance company thought you were going to cost them too much money, those kinds of things. So those were important, and those are the things that were necessary and that we needed to keep. But if you think about what the original idea behind the health care law was, there was roughly 15% of the population, 45 million people, that didn't have insurance. So the original goal was to be able to get those folks some type of coverage.
Right.
And I think everybody would agree that that's a laudable goal.
I agree, yes.
But in doing so, you don't necessarily have to change what the other 85% of the population already had. And unfortunately, that's what the health care law does. Is it expands coverage for 15% while fundamentally changing what 85% of those people had.
How about Congress? Are they exempt from Obamacare?
They're not. In fact, there was a provision that was placed in the law by Senator Grassley that said members of Congress and their personal staffs, the only insurance that they would be able to get through their employment would be by a policy that was either created by the law or provided through a healthcare exchange. So that's clear. Okay. So where there was some confusion and some gray area was whether or not, since that insurance is being provided as the employer coverage, whether or not the employer portion of the premium would still be paid. And so members of Congress and their staffs, if they are going to take employer-based coverage, have to go into actually the Washington, D.C. exchange. That's the only exchange that you'll go into. So I've decided that personally, I don't want to take a subsidy. I don't feel that that's correct. I didn't go to Washington or try to get elected for the benefits that are. So I'm pulling myself out, and I'm going to go buy my own health insurance policy on the market and pay for it myself.
Single payer, is that synonymous with socialized medicine?
Well, you know, it's interesting because if you look across all federal government healthcare programs already in place before the healthcare law took effect, the federal government was already the single largest purchaser of healthcare in the country, whether it was Medicare, whether it was Veterans Affairs, whether it was Medicaid, the Children's Health Insurance Program. All those things are paid for by government dollars. And so the government had already had a basically 52 to 53% payer share of the market. And so when people say, well, you know, government really isn't taking over or influencing the healthcare market, I would disagree. Because when you're the single dominant payer, you know, by default have a very large influence in how healthcare is provided.
Government spending and Obamacare, those seem to be the two big things now. Any other big issues in Washington these days?
Well, certainly immigration is, you know, the big issue that's being discussed. The Senate passed out a bill, comprehensive immigration reform bill that numbers about 1,200 pages, sent it over to the House. It's unlikely that the House will take up that Senate bill. There are issues with that bill, and one of which is that it's 1,200 pages. And when you think about it, you think back to the healthcare reform law, that was about 2,700 pages when it was passed. And no good thing comes out of large bills.
That's right.
Because there's a lot of unintended consequences that people don't fully understand at the time of passage.
Anything else you'd like to add? What's hot in Washington and so forth?
Well, I think, you know, of course, the number one issue still remains really economy and jobs. You know, Nevada still leads the nation in unemployment. Our economy is slowly trying to get itself kick-started both nationally and here in our state. And so a lot of the things that I've concentrated on individually, specifically, tries to bring a jump start back to Nevada's economy and create, set the conditions for job creation here.
Thank you very much for talking with us today.
Thank you, George.
Appreciate your time. I'm George Meese, SEA TV, Anthem Alive.
Thanks for that report, George. It is vital that our political representatives are aware of the special needs of our senior community, and equally important for our seniors to know where our representatives stand on the various issues.
Moving on to one of my favorite subjects, food. In this next segment, we'll present a very special Chef Stu's kitchen, right from the M Hotel and Casino studio kitchen. Normally, Chef Stu's kitchen is taped in his home, but on this special occasion, Anthony Monell, general manager of the M Hotel and Casino, invites SCA TV's popular chef to use the casino's plush TV facility at their Studio B buffet.
I am so hungry right now. With Anthony as his guest, Chef Stu prepared Anthony's favorite dish, chicken piccata. Love it! Not only for his guests, but also for some 50 people attending the event. You hungry?
I'm starving.
Hello everyone, welcome to Chef Stu's kitchen. With one minor detail, we're not in my kitchen. We're at the fabulous M Hotel. We're gonna do a chicken piccata. Okay, so what we're gonna start with today, I've got some extra virgin olive oil in this pan, and I just lightly salt and pepper and dredge with a little bit of flour, some chicken breasts. I like to do this very simply, nothing extravagant.
I'm not sure that's going to be enough for the two of us, Stu. We might need a little bit more there.
Oh, there's still more in there.
All right, good.
Okay, we're going to brown that off. Now that we've got these cooked a little bit, we're just going to move them into a warm pan to stay warm. And we'll deglaze the pan with some wine, some lemon juice. I'm going to add some shallots. and plenty of garlic.
Smells good.
Okay, now that we've cooked that down and reduced it a little bit, we're going to add some capers, a little bit of oregano, and I'm going to put some lemon slices in there to cook. I think a little more wine would be good. Can't go wrong with a little extra wine. And we will put the chicken back into the sauce. Have a taste.
Wow, delicious. Really good.
This is a little pasta we're going to warm up to go on the side. Oh, a little parsley and basil. I'm not done.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
I'll put yours down there.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Once again, I want to thank Bella Meese for all that she has done. I would like to very much thank Mr. Anthony Mornell, the staff, and everybody here at the M Hotel. For Sun City Anthem TV, this is Chef Stu saying bon appetit.
You know, Lenny, Chef Stu is not only a great chef, he will be sharing his singing talents in a show called Holidays in Harmony. Harmony, harmony, harmony. All right, I'll keep going. It's at Freedom Hall, and along with other popular Sun City Anthem vocalists, Carol Joyce, love her, Gail Beckman, opera singer, oh, shut up, Kelly, on Friday, December 13th at 7 p.m., and again on Sunday, December 15th at 3 p.m.
Wow.
Wow.
Multi-talented. But is she as cute and as clever as I am?
Well, sure.
Perhaps it's best you don't answer that question.
Perfect.
Moving on to our resident veterans' experiences. This month's guest on Freedom is Not Free is Franklin Hargrave. Host Steve McCarthy talks with Franklin about his U.S. Navy experiences in Hawaii during World War II.
I am Steve McCarthy. This is Freedom is Not Free. And my next guest, Franklin Hargrave, was one of those that was involved with radar and radar-controlled munitions, and we'll get into his story. Welcome, Franklin.
Thank you. December 7th, I was going to LA City College, and they let all the classes out and had on the PA system a Roosevelt speech.
Okay, of course, December 7th was a Sunday, so Roosevelt...
Monday morning.
Roosevelt met with Congress on Monday the 8th, declared war.
Yeah.
Do you think that the country knew how serious the situation was with Pearl Harbor?
Probably not.
And again, to keep World War II in context, we're talking about a time where there weren't embedded newscasters with units. There was no television. News came by radio, and Pearl Harbor was 6,000 miles plus from Washington, D.C.
Pictures in the paper is the best we got.
Yeah. And certainly news was blacked out to some degree to keep panic down. Now, you were on the West Coast. From my readings, there was some panic in California that the Japanese might invade.
There was some thought of that, and it was, we were blacked out at night, and the street lights were out. You drove in your cars with no lights.
Which was probably more dangerous than the Japanese.
Yes.
The decision was made to move all the Japanese into internment camps early in the war because there was concern about sabotage. Do you remember, or did you think that there was a concern that the Japanese Americans were a danger?
There probably would have been some, but I went to school with Japanese kids, and I remember in high school I asked one of them, "What would you do?" He says, "Well, I'm an American."
You finished your training and you deployed to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's as far as I got.
Okay.
Lucky me.
Now, coming into Pearl Harbor, and you got to Pearl Harbor in what year?
November, I guess it was September of 43.
Okay, so this is roughly 2 years after the attack. Do you remember, as you came into Hawaii, any impressions of what was going on?
Well, they were still raising the Oklahoma. The Utah was upside down, right next to where I worked. And I don't know, can't remember the Arizona. It was on the bottom too, I guess. And I watched them roll the Utah over, a big battleship. They put some telephone pole booms on, 17 of them on the, welded them onto the bottom of the ship, and took 17 5-horsepower electric motors, and took 3 days to turn the ship over. You couldn't see it move. That was mechanical engineering.
Again, we kick the word around sometimes, but patriotism is key to the freedoms we enjoy. For Channel 99, I'm Steve McCarthy. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Franklin and Steve. It is so important to remember and pay tribute to our veterans, those who have sacrificed so much to preserve our freedom and way of life.
Stan Lieblein and his camera crew have spotted more folks on our campus having a great time enjoying the good life at Sun City. Here's Stan with people I see around Anthem.
My name is Mary Klasna, and my husband and I are from San Diego, California. We just moved here about a year ago. We're involved with the Bocce Ball League, and today I'm CIC, which means Captain in Charge. So I'm here to pick up the key and the envelope of the sport.
Hi, I'm Kathy Schwenk, and I'm originally from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and I'm a monitor here at all the fitness centers, and I just love it. I love the people that come in and what we can do, and I've lived here 5 years.
Hi,
and
my name's Teresa Leverance, and I've recently moved to Sun City Anthem. I enjoy working out at the gym, visiting with all the nice people that live here, and shooting pool at night.
Dennis Hall, just moved in 1 year ago. Thoroughly enjoy the facility and the cardio and the weights. Have a ball here.
My name is Lou, and I've been here for about 72 hours, so I don't really know what I like.
Worried about overeating and lack of exercise during the holiday season? I know I am. It's time to check in with fitness manager Meg Polson for some great holiday workout tips.
Did they schedule this segment just for me? No, I'm not sure if it's just coincidence. Is it?
You're busy, you're stressed, and it's chilly out. So why not just take a break from your fitness program until the new year? Sure, you can always come up with an excuse not to exercise, but slacking off on your fitness program during the holidays will only leave you with more pounds and more stress come the new year. Here are some expert tips for staying fit during the time crunch, temptation-packed holiday season. Be flexible when your days get busy. Instead of simply blowing off your 5 p.m. trip to the gym in favor of an office party at the same time, wake up an hour early and walk or jog before work. Or fit a brisk walk into your lunch hour. Mix up your routine to avoid boredom. If you usually run 4 days a week, try running once, swimming once, lifting weights twice. The novelty of the new exercise will hopefully be a stronger motivator than the need to do something else during your normal exercise time. Create a holiday wish list for one or more improved body areas. Expect this to take a certain amount of sacrifice and keep your discipline constant. Be ready for the mistletoe. People are attracted to a strong, healthy body. Your confidence will show if you've been keeping up your eating and your exercise habits. Create a home workout routine for those times you just can't make it to the gym. Crunches, push-ups, and many other exercises can be done without any gym equipment. Increase your time management skills over the holiday season and organize your day the evening before. Prioritize your tasks beforehand. That will help you to find time to exercise. Each week, make it a priority to fit in 3 exercise sessions. Walking is an exercise that can go anywhere, from the woods to the mall, so grab your gym shoes and get going. Be happy, be healthy.
Oh, sorry about that. Thanks, Meg. Those are great tips. I always enjoy hearing about exercise. Hearing about it is so much easier than actually doing it. You know what? In my gym is really good. They've got this great machine now. And I really love it. Honestly, I spend 40 minutes on it. And I can get Mars bars from it. Chips, crisps.
Lenny, I wouldn't touch that comment with a 10-foot pole.
Oh.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, in Great Britain, you measure in meters, don't you?
Yes.
Well, I have no idea how many meters 10 feet would be. Boy, that's funny stuff right there, I got to tell you. And you don't measure your weight in pounds there, right? You spend money, your money is pounds. No. So this is just, okay, well, listen, this is all too confusing while we're taping in the morning. Coffee! Coffee! Coffee!
Let's get back to my favorite subject, food. Folks, want to enjoy a delicious meal? Try the food at Vic's new American cuisine at Anthem Center while you listen to the mellow sounds of accomplished pianist Marvin Peterson. She entertains every Friday from 6 until 8 p.m. Fabulous stuff.
Resident philosopher Lois Krashen closes our show with her examples of the complexity of the English language, which we have showed you many times during this show today.
Hoorah, hoorah!
Some of these examples are bound to be hilarious, so listen closely as Lois explains.
Well, hello again. Today I want to talk about a definition of English, asylum for the verbally insane. We'll begin with a box, and the plural is boxes. But the plural of ox became oxen, not oxes. And one fowl is a goose, but 2 are called geese. Yet the plural of moose should never be meese. You may find a lone mouse or a nest full of mice, yet the plural of house is houses, not heis. If the plural of man is always called men, why shouldn't the plural of pan be called pen? If I spoke of my foot and show you my feet, and I give you a boot, would a pair be called beat? If one is a tooth and a whole set are teeth, Why shouldn't the plural of booth be called beef? We speak of a brother and also of brethren, but though we say mother, we never say metherin. And then the masculine pronouns are he, his, and him. But imagine the feminine, she, she's, and shim. Oh dear. Let's face it, English is a crazy language. There is no egg in eggplant, no ham in hamburger, neither apple or pine in pineapple. English muffins were not invented in England, but if we explore its paradoxes, we find that quicksand can work slowly. Boxing rings are square, and a guinea pig is neither from Guinea or is it a pig. And why is it that writers write, but finers don't fing, grocers don't gross, and hammers don't ham? Doesn't it seem crazy that you can make amends, but not one amend? If you have a bunch of odds and ends and get rid of all but one of them, what do you call it? If teachers taught, why didn't preachers prot? And if a vegetarian eats vegetables, what does a humanitarian eat? In what other language do people recite at a play and play at a recital? We ship by truck, but send cargo by ship. We have noses that run and feet that smell. And how can a slim chance and a fat chance be the same, while a wise guy and a wise man are opposite? You have to marvel at the unique lunacy of a language in which your house can burn up as it burns down, in which you fill in a form by filling it out, and in which an alarm goes off by going on. So, if father is pop, how come mother isn't mop? So won't you agree with me in saying this English language is really a crazy language? Bye for now. I'll see you soon. Read up. Bye.
Thanks, Lois. No wonder the spell check on my computer gets confused.
You scare me, you know.
I know. I scare my husband too.
And then there's, oh, you're married?
Yes,
Shoot, I was being very nice to you. And then there's the Queen's English, which is another language.
Oh, well, that wraps it up for this week's show.
We're glad you stayed with us, but before we go, we would like you to know what's coming up in the future editions of Anthem Alive.
Enjoy the highlights of Sun City Anthem's annual Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Walk. Thank you very much. Then reporter Helen Lieblein will take you through a visual experience of holiday lights at Opportunity Village's magical forest.
Well, we get back in time with Yvonne Cloutier presents the latest in her Musical Moments series. Enjoy this fabulous music of Yvonne entertains us with her profile of Henry Mancini.
Selecting a financial advisor can be a daunting task. Hard-Earned Money, hosted by reporters Bill Campbell and Kevin Dauphiny, outlines the important things to consider when deciding on a financial planner. I need one after the Christmas season.
Besides Anthem Alive, be sure to tune in to this week's showcase. If you have been to the High Scalers Cafe at Hoover Dam, you probably were in awe by the more than twice the life-size bronze statue of a fully equipped man climb a vertical boulder. This is the story behind that statue, and others in the Hoover Dam series as told by Stephen Ligurie, sculptor and Hoover Dam construction historian.
This week's showcase includes plenty of construction video of the dam as well. Showcase runs every day at 4 and 8 p.m. and again at 2 a.m.
Want to keep your membership dues low? Here's a really good way to find out. Tune in to the latest edition Board Roundtable. Host Larry Carroll talks with board member Bella Meese. the newly appointed Sun City Anthem Volunteer Coordinator, Karen Luspich, about the importance of getting involved and volunteering to support the community. A board roundtable airs every day, 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and again at 10 p.m.
And be sure to tune in 10 minutes before each hour for an up-to-the-minute activities report, followed by Sun City Anthem News Reel on channels 99 and 980.
Kelly, seriously, I've had real fun with you today. Real fun hosting Anthem Alive all this week.
Lenny, I agree. And it's been such fun co-hosting with you as well. I love your accent and your sense of humor, your dry sense of humor. I certainly want to be sure to catch your act at the M Resort when you headline there on January 24th. That's January 24th, headlining at the M, January 24th.
I thank you so much, Pat. And folks, be sure to come and see Kelly Clinton's holiday special show right here in Freedom Hall on Friday, December the 20th, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. actually. Tickets are only $18. That's really a good price.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, and you get to enjoy a wine tasting reception earlier and a chance to meet Kelly personally. Following the show, what could be a better treat than this?
Well, not to be shameless and obnoxious, but I'd also like to tell you I'll be at the Suncoast New Year's Eve Day, 12 o'clock show, but we won't talk about that anymore. I'd love to have you there if you can't make it to the Christmas show or the holiday show, or both January 24th at the M.
Yeah, but that was a very cheap shot
Wasn't
to get that in.
Tacky.
But I will be also on the 27th of January at the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana for a week. 2 shows a night. Come and see me.
Okay, well, I'll also be. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Thank
That
you,
was
Lenny.
good.
Here is a quote for this week from the great Edith Wharton. There are 2 ways of spreading light. Be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. Both are good. In this holiday season, share your love, warmth with others, and watch it return to you. I love that.
That's really sweet.
Sweet.
I nearly cried then.
I'm crying now inside.
I see it.
Boy, was this fun. I got to tell you, are there any more shows we could plug?
Well, is there any more we could do together? We could do our own show here, but without script.
Let's just say this together from both of us. Happy
holidays, everybody. Cheerio.
Take care.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.